Good day, everyone. We are Group 1, and today we will be discussing Module 1, Mobile Business Ranking and Analysis. Before we begin, let me introduce to you our group members: Arsenio Tenshi, Wenta Marca Velby, and Uy Allen Seli.
To start us off, let's take a look at the bigger picture of the mobile services market. Right now, the entire digital landscape is shifting rapidly, and it really boils down to these five major trends as you can see on the screen. First up is the explosion of mobile data traffic. We all know how much data we consume every day just scrolling, streaming, and gaming. And managing that massive daily surge is a huge challenge for tech companies. Next, to actually make sense of all this data, we have knowledge as a service, which uses big data analysis to turn raw information into useful insights. We are also seeing the rise of hyper-realistic media, which is a driving convergence across different platforms, such as AR, VR, and ultra-high definition streaming. Of course, none of this works without infrastructure, which is why everything on cloud is so important. It gives us seamless access and storage wherever we are. And finally, as you can see on this graphic, all of this connects back to our connected devices. The rapid increase in IoT and smart integrations, linking everything from our smartphones to the smart homes. To understand market trends over time, you'll constantly see business analysts use a metric called CAGR, which stands for Compound Annual Growth Rate. So by definition, this is a geometric progression ratio that provides a constant rate of return over a specific time period. In simpler terms, instead of looking at the messy up and downs of a market every year, Cager smooths it out and tells us the steady annual rate an industry grew at, assuming it is compounded every year. So the formula is as follows. Cager is equals to VB over VA raised to YB YB over 1 YB minus YA minus 1. So VB is our ending value. Our base year value is VA. And the total number of years is YB minus YA. And all of that is subtracted to 1. So it is the absolute standard metric used in business and investment analysis to give us a clear, accurate look at growth. Here we can see a concrete example applying KGR to a global telecom terminal market forecast from 2015 to 2020. This table breaks down the market into three key segments. So first, we have mobile devices. It maintained a steady CAGR of 6.40%, which successfully pushed the total segment past the $600 billion mark by 2020. So next is base stations. This was actually the fastest growing sector with a CAGR of 8.20%. So as 4G and LTE expanded and 5G networks started rolling out, smaller cell sizes meant telecom companies drastically need to build significantly more base stations to support the coverage. Even though the market size is smaller, around $60 billion, its growth rate was massive. Then we have telecom services. Even though this has the lowest CAGR of all of the three by 2.50, look at the scale of it. It is an absolute giant, hitting roughly $1.1 trillion in 2020. So when you combine all of these sectors together, the overall telecom terminal market showed a CAGR of 3.90 across 2015 to 2020.
Good day. Let's discuss the latest trend in the wearable device market, wherein wearable technology has evolved far beyond simple fitness trackers and smartwatches. So today, wearables are becoming intelligent health companion, communication tools, and AI-powered personal assistant. So moving on to the 2026 market valuation. Wearable devices market is project at least $188.67 billion. So, reflecting on the current demand compared to the previous years, when consumers mainly mainly used wearable for step counting and notification. So, but in today's renovation or innovation provides advanced health monitoring, productivity, and seamless connectivity with smartphones and cloud services. So, one of the fastest growing categories uh, is the smart rings and glasses. So, unlike the smartwatch, this device offers a more discreet and convenient user experience. Smart rings are gaining popularity because they provide sleep tracking, heart rate monitoring, and wellness insights while being lightweight and comfortable. So the smart glasses are also experiencing renewed growth due to the advancement of the technology and in augmented reality or the AI integration. So compared to the traditional smartwatch, smart rings focuses more on the comfort and continuous health monitoring services, while the smart glasses emphasize the hands-free information access and immerse digital experience. So next is the health and wellness. So it remains the largest segment of the wearable market, accounting for more than one third of the total market share. So modern wearable monitor system uh, includes the heart rate, oxygen level, sleep quality, and stress level, and it can even detect irregular heart rhythms. So compared with the earlier generation, which mainly consisted of the steps and calories. So in today's device, it provides more comprehensive and clinical relevant health information. So these trends reflects consumers' increasing interest in preventive healthcare and personal wellness management. So next is the technical integration. So a major trend in the integration of advanced medical grade sensors into wearable devices. So new wearable now includes the ECG monitoring, blood oxygen tracking, skin temperature sensing, and early stage of glucose monitoring technologies. Uh, Compared with the previous devices that requires users to manually interpret data, modern wearables can automatically analyze measurements and provide actionable insights. So it can also provides a accurate data. So this integration bridges the gap between the consumer electronics and healthcare technology. So lastly, the AI-driven personalization. So the artificial intelligence is transforming wearable technology. So AI algorithms analyze user behavior, health metrics, and daily routines to deliver a personalized recommendation. So an example to this is an AI can suggest workout adjustments, predict fatigue levels, optimize sleep schedules, and also provide early health warnings. So compared with the traditional wearable that can only display raw data, AI-powered device offers intelligent guideline tailors to each certain individuals. So as AI capability continue to improve, the wearable devices are expected to become a proactive in health assistant rather than the passive monitoring tools. So my second topic is the mobile network equipment trends. So this topic focuses on mobile network equipment trends as mobile data traffic continue to increase. So network operators are investing heavily in advanced infrastructure to support the speed, lower latency, and new digital devices or services. So the first one is the infrastructure densification. So one of the most significant trend is the infrastructure densification, wherein mobile networks are transitioning from a small number of high-power macro towers to a dense combination of macro cells, microcells, and small cells. So compared with the traditional 4G, modern 5G networks requires more cell sites because higher frequency signals have shorter coverage ranges. So this denser infrastructure improves network capacity, coverage quality, and user experience, especially in the urban areas. So 5G standalone or the SA is another important development in deploying of the 5G standalone or 5G SA. So unlike any other non-standalone network that relied on existing 4G cores, 5G SA uses a fully independent 5G architectures. So this transition enables low latency, improved network efficiency, and supports for the advanced applications such as the autonomous vehicle, industrial automation, and smart cities. So compared with the traditional 4G, a non-standalone 5G networks, and a standalone 5G unlocks the full capabilities of the next generation wireless technology. Next is the small cell market, wherein it is experiencing a rapid growth and is projected to exceed over 10.7 billion USD. So small cells are compact base stations designed to improve indoor and high density urban coverages. So compared to the large macro towers, large cells provided better performance in crowd environment such as the shopping malls, airports, stadiums, and districts. So as mobile users or consumers, it consumes more video content and cloud services. Operators increasingly rely on small cells to maintain network quality. Next is the spectrum evolution, wherein it is another major trend, wherein it focuses on the millimeter wave frequency and the emerging of the CM wave spectrum. So it ranges from the 7 to 15 gigahertz. It is also compared with the lower frequency bands. So these higher frequency ranges offer significantly greater bandwidth and faster transmission speed. So these are expected to play a crucial role for the future 6G development. The industry is continuously exploring the new spectrum resources to accommodate growing data demands and advanced wireless application. So last on this topic is the network slicing, wherein it is the most innovative features enabled by the 5G. So it allows the operator to create a virtual networks on a single physical infrastructure. So for example, one slice can support emergency services with maximum reliability, while another slice serves as IoT devices and another serves or delivers a high-speed consumer broadband. So comparing it to a traditional network that provides the same services to all users, network slicing offers customized performance based on the specific application requirements. Moving on to the last topic, which is the global smartphone markets by country and the latest trend shaping markets shares across the different countries and regions. So for the first subtopic is the market leadership, wherein Apple and Samsung continues to dominate the global smartphone markets. So Apple maintains strong performance through its premium ecosystem, while Samsung leads with a broad product portfolio covering both premium and mid-range segments. So compared with other manufacturers, these two companies benefits from strong brand recognition. So extensive distribution networks and continuous innovation in hardware and software. Next is the regional dominance. So in Asia Pacific region, the remains the largest smartphone markets, accounting over the 43% of the global smartphone shipments. So compared to the North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific, it benefits a larger population, rapid digitalization, and expanding internet access. So countries such as China, India, Indonesia, and Vietnam contribute significantly to global smartphone demands. Next is the emerging growth hubs, wherein India is currently one of the fastest growing smartphone markets in the world. So strong demand is driven by increasing 5G adoption, government manufacturing incentives, and raising consumer purchasing power. So compared with the mature markets such as the North Americans and Western Europes, so where smartphone growth is relatively stable. So India offers substantial opportunities for expansion and market penetration. Next is the economic headwinds, wherein despite the strong demands, the smartphones industry faces economic challenges. So the rising cost of components such as the DRAM and the NAND flash memory are increasing manufacturers' expenses and averaging the sales price. So compared with the previous year, when component costs were declining, manufacturers now facing tighter profit margin and greater pressures. So the situation may impact consumer purchasing decision, particularly in the price-sensitive markets. And lastly is China's recovery. So China's smartphone market is showing signs of recovery, supported by the resurgence of the domestic brands such as the Huawei and Xiaomi. So compared with the previous year, when international brands held strong position, the Chinese manufacturers are regaining market through innovation and competitive pricing and advancing in local semiconductor technologies. So this recovery is reshaping the competition not only within the China but also across the different nations globally, globally smartphone markets.
So to talk about the top vendors and the operating systems, four vendors control over 54% of the global market. Samsung and Apple frequently trade the number 1 and 2 spots depending on the quarter and their respective product release cycles. In the OS space, the early leaders like the Symbian and BlackBerry have tailored off, leaving a duopoly where Android holds over 80% and the Apple iOS maintains a strong secondary position with an estimated of 17% of the market share. Looking closer at the vendor landscape, as noted, four companies where Samsung, Apple, Huawei, and Oppo control over half of the global market. Samsung and Apple maintains to be the leaders of the market, where, as mentioned before, often trading their spot depending on their product release cycles. Samsung's strength lies in its massive diverse portfolio covering all price points, whereas the Apple's dominance is built on the high-margin premium ecosystem with intense brand loyalty. Huawei and Oppo, on the other hand, have captured huge market shares by offering high-spec devices at competitive prices, first conquering the massive domestic Chinese market and then expanding aggressively into emerging markets like India and later Europe. The remaining roughly 45% of the market is highly fragmented, fighting for the smaller slices of the pie. The scale of the Big Four gives them an immense advantage in the supply chain negotiations and the R&D investment as well as the marketing power, making it incredibly difficult for the smaller players to compete. Looking ahead, the LTE or 4G will continue to grow, with 3G acting as a reliable fallback for less populated areas. Finally, looking at the mobile applications market, while app downloads are growing steadily, the real explosion is happening in the monetization through in-app payments and advertisements. Taking a deeper look in the future of the mobile subscriptions, you can see that the LTE is our foundation and is expected to grow consistently as the primary broadband provider. Interestingly, 3G remains highly relevant, maintaining a large slice of the market, which is around 32% through the year 2022. Why? Because it serves as a crucial reliable fallback in less populated areas where deploying dense LTE networks is not yet cost-effective. And for 2G, we expect it to naturally decline due to its low speed compared to 3G and 4G. Finally, looking at the early 5G forecasts, while initial projections showed that it is just around 0.1 to 0.4% of for the year 2021 and 2022, remember, these conservative estimates were made before the 5G standards were fully finalized in the year 2020. As we now know, 5G investment and adoption are set to disrupt these initial charts entirely. Finally, we turn to the mobile app market, where first, looking at the app downloads, we see a steady CAGR of 3.3%. While that percentage might seem small compared to the others, remember the scale that this market is in, that this is already massive, sitting at over 26 billion downloads and projecting past 31 billion by the year 2020. The most explosive growth, however, lies in the app monetization in the in-app market. The market for in-app payments, which was previously relatively small, is projected to surge with a staggering 45.9% CAGR. Similarly, in-app advertisements are forecasted to grow at an incredible 54.6%. Combined, the overall global mobile app market is looking at a massive 29.1% growth rate, indicating a dramatic shift in how developers and companies generate revenue from the mobile users. So before we end, here are the references that we used for our presentation. So that is all for the presentation of us, the Group 1, for the first module, which is about the mobile business ranking and analytics. I hope you learned from our presentation and thank you for listening.